Hello everyone, this is Caesar. This video in particular is about software. This is one of my channels on YouTube. This one is CUSA space INT. That's an I actually. We provide tips, advice. Hopefully you appreciate the advice. Some things are common sense, but maybe it's a good reminder. Some people forget about things, do not realize. These tips are quite often could be useful for young people who are really starting to life and they don't know a lot of things. I wanted to mention first of all about ChatGPT. If you do the search for that, it will take you to chat.openai.com. This is actually a safe website. It's HTTPS. So those are the provider actually secure the website for intrusions, like for viruses and things like that into the website. So that's sometimes if you have a hosting, they offer you, if you pay $100 and something, $150, $120, whatever dollars, you could secure your page against attacks. Sometimes some websites have good intentions, but they are infiltrated by other people who will install hijack the website and install malware. So sometimes you will see a message, this page, are you sure you want to go to this website because it doesn't have the HTTPS? It's not secure. Maybe it could. It doesn't have to. It doesn't mean that it has a virus or a Trojan or something. Anyway, ChatGPT. Here's an example. I typed a question: how do I use header files in C++? And it gave me the answer after a few seconds. So here's the answer, including the code, how you will write a header file, and then further explanations. Okay, then I asked, please translate the answer to Spanish, and he went ahead and did that in pretty much correct Spanish. I mean, the English and Spanish may have a little errors here and there for, let's say, gender. It may say maybe the word is female, but maybe they use the wrong pronoun or something. Anyway, I asked what is a constructor in C++, and he gave me the answer in Spanish. So actually, I typed the question in Spanish. You can type the question in English, of course, or in your language. What is Islam? Gave me the answer, so I could keep asking questions. For example, what is Islam? I wanted to use that as an example, and it will explain what that religion is for. So, for example, let's say crime statistics in New Jersey, for example, and then I'm going to click on the arrow here, and actually it kept back asking, giving me the answers in Spanish, so I guess I need to tell him in English. So it's telling me that based on the FBI statistics for the year 2020, the index of criminality in New Jersey diminished in comparison with the previous year. So it gives giving me the statistics. Even though I asked the question in English, they gave me the answer. Let me just type something. Let me just copy with Control C. I'm gonna paste. Well, actually, I was gonna say answer question in English. Sure, here's an answer in English. According to FBI data, the crime rate in New Jersey decreased compared to the previous year. The data indicates an 8.2 decrease in the crime rate compared to 2019. So, for what I understand, ChatGPT is up to date up to the year, I believe it's 2021, but I think it's giving me statistics for 2022. No, 25. So, but there are other AIs that I think there's one that just came out. I think it's Birth. I haven't used that one yet. That will give you newer information. Anyway, So I want to mention some other software that you can use. This one in particular is really good for doing homework. ChatGPT. Um, it will help you with a lot of things that you need to do. Um, okay. At some point it may stop working, so you may have to exit, maybe close the tab and enter again, log in again or something. Anyway, one of them is Glar Utilities. Some software, special utilities that are very popular may get attacked. Some governments may try to infiltrate those very popular software, trying to inject malicious software to gather information from companies and whatever. I don't remember if it was Glare Utilities or another one that I think it's another one that I already uninstalled. At some point it was another one that it was attacked, but that was years back, so I think it should be okay now. It had millions of downloads, so you should run antivirus software on anything that you install in your computer. I use this one to check, remove cookies and things like that from my computer. An editor that I use sometimes is Notepad++. What I don't like is that so far, what I know, it doesn't have a Unicode support, so some symbols may not be converted correctly, or may not be pasted or copied. Say you copy and paste into Notepad++, and then some of the symbols may not work. But normally those are symbols that are hardly ever used, that are maybe used for something else, and not really for the day-to-day. But for day-to-day work, it should be okay. It's good that you can use it for typing code, things like that. Another software that you can use is IOBit software. You can say that it may have issues. For example, iTop PDF. If you want to work with PDF files, it's free download. So you can do that. It has advanced system care, driver booster, malware filer, smart defrag. So it has multiple utilities. They have free versions, and then you can buy the pro versions if you want. So you get the free one or the pro version. So antivirus, Mozart tools. Or you can buy, for example, if you get the St. Patrick's Day discount. Another software that you can use is VLC Media Player. If you want to work with video files, audio files, things like that, it is capable of handling multiple formats in different file platforms. Okay, and just pick the one that goes for your computer. If it is Windows, if it is Mac, you pick the one that you need. Okay, so if it is 64 bits or if it is 34 bits, things like that, so you need to pick the right one. And you can even donate to contribute to their work. One that you can use for email to download software, download your files, your emails actually, is Thunderbird from Mozilla. It has some add-ons that you can include, but it's basically for downloading emails into your local computers. For example, you are going to be traveling, you are not going to be having internet, you can download the emails. You don't have time to check them out, you can just let it download the files. You need to set up the account though. Install it and then set up the account with the username, password, and some other settings. But once it is configured, that account will be, the emails will be downloaded to the computer, and from time to time you can run it. So that way, if somebody hacks into your email, you have the copies of those emails in your computer, especially if you send valuable emails to yourself. Then you will have a copy of those letters, emails, your contacts. So that way you don't lose them if somebody hacks into your email account and takes over. Okay, at least you have the latest emails. Then you can try to rebuild your account, maybe open another one and contact whoever you want to keep in touch with. But it could take days. It could take hours to download if you have tons of thousands of emails. It could take a long time. So you can run it at night when you go to bed, and you can leave it running for whatever time. Or if you go out for a couple of days, you can leave it running and you will download a bunch of files. Of course, it's going to take a lot of hard disk space, but you have a good sized hard drive, then it should be okay. You can install an external hard drive, plug it in, let's say with a USB connector, an adapter that you can plug into the wall, and it has a USB connector that you can plug the hard drive into. So it's an adapter that where you can move files from your computer to the external hard drive. Just make sure you don't drop it, because if you drop the hard drive, it's gonna be all the data is gonna be lost. So it's gonna be very hard to recover. It's gonna have to cost maybe $120, $200 or more to get that data recovered. So if you get an external hard drive, keep it in an enclosure, not just loose like that. Make sure you don't drop it. If you drop it, you lose all the stuff in there. So be very careful with that. There are newer hard drives now that are not the spinning disk. They're solid state. That are the new technology. Okay, just make sure that strong magnets and stuff like that do not get close to your hard drives. There is one that is called Everything from voidtools.com. That is for finding files. Sometimes if you go to Windows, try to do like a search in Windows Explorer, or before called File Manager, and then you cannot find it. It gives you the wrong results. So that's why I'm using Everything when I need to find some specific files. You pick the version that goes with your computer. Maybe it's 32 bits, an older model. Newer models will have in Windows will have 64 bits. Or you can install the portable. Well, actually, it's not installed. You can run the portable version that will not install files into your computer. It will just run the executable, but not really change the settings in your computer. There is what is called Windows Registry that has all the settings for the computer, and it tells basically keeps track of what files are located, where everything is located. Well, no, I mean it's like a manager or a file that contains all the information for the settings on the computer. So if that file gets damaged, then basically the computer is not going to work. So that's why it's a good idea to have a backup of your registry file. There are some utilities that will back up your registry. Okay, so maybe you can rebuild it from that file or that utility. So here's Advanced System Care. There is the free version and the pro version. This program, in some, let's say in Malwarebytes, says that this program has what's called PIP. There's potentially damaging program. But I mean, I have used it for a long time. I did have a couple of computers that got damaged, but I don't know if it was this software. So nowadays, what I do, I just don't. I do not turn off the. I turn off the setting that actually modifies the registry, because maybe that's the reason that they complain. People complain that it's dangerous, because if the change to the registry is wrong, then the computer is not going to work, and that's why you basically get a dead computer. So it could be because if you erase an entry, because it does erase some entries that are like loose, that do not have a program that calls for that file, it will erase the entry. But if it does the wrong changes, it may mess up the registry. So I don't make it update the registry anymore. But otherwise, I will remove cookies and privacy traces and stuff like that. So yes, you can get this one, the free version, or the System Care Pro. I think this one is called Ultimate. Driver updated, you can update your drivers. Those are programs that basically control your devices, such as the mouse, the network card, things like that. You can actually, with one of these ones, can update your drivers to the latest version, so the network card and the mouse and the display are the latest version of the device manufacturers software. Some people say, no, do not use those. They can mess up your computer and things. I think the Driver Booster does a good job. You can get the Pro version, the booster, the free one only gives you 2 updates a day, but it will show you what else is out of date, maybe 2 more. So the other 2 more you will have to actually update them manually, but at least it will let you know which ones are out of date. So then you can click the button that says update manually, and it will take you to the website where you can download the executable and install the update. Okay, so it does have antivirus. I have tried this Yoibit Malware Fighter free. It's kind of bothersome because it does update pretty much every day. So it keeps reminding you that you haven't run the antivirus, things like that. But with this particular version, I haven't found any malware, so I may switch to something else. I do use multiple antivirus software. It's been said that it's not good because there can be conflict between one and the other. One of them is Microsoft. I mean, Windows nowadays has the Microsoft Defender, so people do not use anything else because the Microsoft Defender is pretty good. But you can actually install one more. But the one from Advanced System Care, there is a antivirus that actually will disable the Microsoft Defender, and it will basically take over the antivirus's part of the work. So if you want, and say, I think it's the ultimate version, Advanced System Care Ultimate, that it will actually have the antivirus. And it's a paid version. They give you a free trial for like 2 weeks, something like that. But it's it takes over basically disables the other antiviruses until you pay for it, or until you uninstall it. So basically, you will have to decide which one you want to use. But then the ultimate, the paid version will contain Bitdefender. That is a really good. Been said that it's a pretty good antivirus software. Audacity is an audio software program. When you want to edit sound files, maybe you have a song that you want to remove some pieces from it, or combine things like that, then you can do that. It's a free open source cross-platform, meaning that you can be using Windows, Mac OS, GNU, Linux, and other operating systems, or Linux and other operating systems. For taxes, you can use, for example, TurboTax. Some people like this one, some other people like TaxCut, whatever. You can actually do your taxes on your own, and then submit what you got to a tax preparer or tax accountant, and they will use that information to do a better tax return. Why? Because when you get the interview yourself and you fill out the answers, you may not do things correctly, but you will probably include a lot of deductions that the tax accountant may not ask you. Tax accountant just asks you for some documents, and then based on the documents like the W-2 or 1099, they will fill out that and maybe ask a couple of questions, and that's it. They don't really go in detail in regards to deductions. Things that you did during the year, they just go by the couple of papers that you give them, and that's it. So hardly any deductions. So you could do the taxes yourself, and you can even claim that you spent X amount of dollars in tax preparation fees, and that's that's deducted from your taxes as an expense. And then that way you can get a better refund. Some people do not know how to use a Hotmail and Gmail, and that's very important. A lot of people nowadays are asked, what is your email address, and then they send you a subscription, or they send you whatever information. Maybe you need to claim your unemployment benefits, and then the bank wants to send you whatever information is to send you, whatever. So nowadays it's really important to have an email. You can have a company email, like a work email and a home email, if you want to, or just one. And maybe a junk email account. So if you don't really want to get a junk mail, you can provide that one for situations where you're not really expecting to be reading those emails. For example, I just type one of my website names, and then I pick, for example, Hotmail or Outlook, and then I click on next and fill out the answers. Normally it's name, like first name, last name, passport, retype passport, date of birth, backup email address, things like that. And then it gives you an account, and then the account shows on the left side or on the top options like incoming box, outgoing box like send and receive, spam folder, trash folder, things like that. And then in there you can actually decide you want to delete an email, you want to move the email to a different folder, things like that. And here is Gmail. You can type gmail.com. I'm using DuckDuckGo. That is a good one. And this one is actually telling me I am sending to myself emails. So different things like that. All right. So I watch YouTube videos, and then I send to myself different things. You can select what you don't want. Say you don't want to do this one, you hit delete, and then remove those ones. Okay. For example, you can subscribe to courses and then send you the whatever information they want. I'm getting emails that I've sent to myself from my TV. No, actually from my cell phone. So I watched YouTube videos on the TV. I have a smart TV, and then if I like something, I just do the search on my cell phone and send it to my Gmail account. So that's why I get a list. Or I can write down. You can write down the description and the maker of the video on YouTube, and then let me click on this one, for example, and then it has the link on it, and you can actually play. So here is received, highlighted ones, postpone, send, things like that, and then options. Say like mark as being read, postpone, add to tasks, move to. This one is labels. This one is file, like put it in a folder. Denounce as a spam, erase it. And more options. For example, mark as read, mark as not important. Put a star on this one, like mark it important. Create an event, filter messages as these ones, or put it on silence. You can actually respond to the email. Let's say somebody sends you something, you can send a response, and then you type thank you, for example, thank you, and then your name. All right, and then you can send it. You can change this. For example, I want to make it in big letters, and then you can put in large or extra large. You can make it in italics, underline, or you can pick a different color. Say I want to make it in red. I changed my mind. I don't want to do it in italics. I click on this one again. No, wait a minute, that's italics. This I don't want to underline, so I can put it in this one. And you can attach a file. You can here and you select a file from your computer or your cell phone. If you're using a cell phone, because you can use this one on a cell phone. Or you can insert an hyperlink. Say I want to copy this one. Right click, and then I'm going to insert a link, hyperlink over here. Put it right here, paste, and then accept, and that's the link right there. All right. You can insert files from Google Drive. You can put an emoji Just say I want to put an emoji right here, space. Just pick one. Let's see this one and this one. And there they are. Alright, I'm going to activate or deactivate the confidential mode, insert a signature, and more options. So, you know, this is a really useful service that Gmail provides for free. I mean, there is a limit. I mean, you get like 30,000 emails. Then at some point, it's going to ask you to pay a monthly or erase after a certain, not by the number of emails, but actually by the hard disk space that you occupy. And there are other options in here, like Google Apps. You can have, for example, YouTube, go to YouTube or Google Play, Google Meet, or Gmail, Chat, Contacts, Google Drive, Calendar, Translator, Photos, here, my advertising center, and so that's Google used to have a Google Pay where you could actually send money for free, but they removed that service. So that's basically what you can do in Gmail. So you can create hopefully you don't provide any private information when you create the account, not even your name, just keep it private. You try to keep your name private and your contact information as private as possible. Microsoft Office, there is Office 365, which is on the cloud, on the internet. But in general, this one is pretty good because of the latest technology, the latest everything, but you have to pay a subscription, an annual subscription, and if you for some reason do not renew it, then you do not have access to your emails and stuff like that. So I prefer to get my own version that I don't have to keep renewing every month, and I can go anywhere with my computer and use Microsoft Word or whatever without having to log in onto the internet. I can just use the local copy, let's say Microsoft Office, whatever, 2016 or whatever version you have. Even 2010 is good, very good. 2016 and so on. So you can buy it if you want the service. You can sign in and get it. It's free or premium. Okay, Microsoft has you covered. Okay, all right. So I'm not sure if they haven't. I actually haven't tried Microsoft 365. They may have some discounted versions for educators or for home. Instead, organizations will have to pay more. But you can do multiple things in here. I am very happy with Microsoft products. They do a really good job. Quite a lot of stuff they do. They do it for free. Let's see, products for businesses, small business, for home, for families, for individuals, for students. They do have they do in the 365. They have Microsoft Teams for meetings, Microsoft Word for typing documents, OneDrive to save files, OneNote to take like smart notes, Outlook to send and receive emails, just like Mozilla Thunderbird. This one will be good. Let's say, for example, you can keep your Microsoft emails stored in Microsoft Outlook, and say the other emails, Gmail and stuff, you can keep them in Thunderbird. For example, you can do that. For example, PowerPoint is for slideshows, things like that, presentations. Project, if you want to keep track of projects, this one is used by project managers, SharePoint, you name it. There's a lot of software going that it comes with this Microsoft 365, and even the local will have Excel, or not OneDrive and not OneNote. It will have Outlook, and some versions will have PowerPoint. Microsoft Edge comes with Windows already. It has a lot of new stuff that they have developed. Also, here it is. Here is the icons and the links for all of those. So anyway, so I thank you very much for watching the video. We provide numerous services: consulting, translation, interpreting, tour guides. I mean, multiple people that work with us. There is swimwear. There's a shop that does swimwear. I have a link that shows you, I mean, that takes you like it's useful links that you can use. Some of the at the beginning will have the most frequently used websites. So links to get to all of those, and then these one are older links so people that may have some interest in those. So you can set this one as your homepage. So or you can create your own. Say you copy your links to Microsoft Word and then save it as an HTML or HTML file, and then that file can be opened in the browser, and then you have the links. So this is the way you can do it. Or you can use another program that handles HTML or HTML files. Remember to watch the news, say on your free time, say early morning while you're not really out of bed, you can hear the news, or say on the radio, or on a page, on the internet page that has radio, and then you can hear the news, or on YouTube if you have a smart TV, or yeah, smart TV, or on your cell phone. You can hear the news. This in particular is Colombian news, top Colombian news sites. I like El Colombiano. For Colombia, I like El Tiempo, El Espectador, Canal RCN, here's El Tiempo, Minuto 30. So these are the Colombian. Quite a bit of them are in Spanish, but you can use Google Translate to translate the website. Okay, or the page. Que usa Colombian magazine, or actually a newspaper that is kind of Colombian news. You can actually zoom it with the mouse, or with the loop, the magnifier, and then you can move to the next pages. You can even, well, the paper version will have games that you can actually write on. This one will be more difficult doing by hand, because this is like a web page. We'll have to do more to get it to work right. Anyway, it's very interesting. As for example, job listings, tips, classifieds. We also provide classifiers. This one is the similar information, but in Spanish. We provide videos in English and Spanish. If you want to learn some Spanish, you may want to watch the Spanish version. They're not going to be the same, because this is basically live. These ones are not, pretty much the videos are not edited the way it comes. That's the way it comes out. The way it's made, that's the way pretty much it comes out. Remember about watch your health. You can search for things that you may think you have. For example, there is liver disease, things like that you need to watch for. Drinking, alcohol, drugs. Be careful with those, because it can mess up your body and cause some serious illnesses. Some people do not listen. I keep telling people do not drink. I see young teenagers smoking cigarettes, marijuana, doing drugs. But once you get addicted, it's really hard to get out. You don't want to get a pancreatitis from too much sugar. What you eat is what you get, basically, in your body, and the outcomes is quite a bit based on what you do. You do risky activities, you ride a motorcycle, whatever, you could get hurt. You eat the wrong stuff, you could get sick, or grow fat and sick. So be very careful what you eat, what you do. Watch out for infectious diseases. There has been some recent situations where people are getting sick in the stomach. Maybe they don't wash their salads very well, or then drink contaminated juices, and then you can get pretty sick. So watch what you eat. was do not get close to people who are sick with a contagious disease, even a cold. It can make you sick for several days. So maybe it's a flu, maybe it's something in the stomach that is spreading. Um, be very careful with sexually transmitted diseases. Herpes, for example, is for life. If you get the herpes virus, then it's basically forever and it's very contagious. So if you see somebody with sores in the mouth, do not kiss them, do not share things with that person. For example, eating utensils. So the person who has it needs to basically do not be in contact with people, other people, because it's very contagious. If you kiss somebody has a herpes and kisses somebody else that doesn't, if the person is already having the spores, I mean the sores in the mouth, and kisses somebody else who doesn't, the person is gonna get contagious, I mean infected, and then it's for life. Same thing with vaginal herpes or genital herpes. It's very contagious. So if you have herpes and that is coming, is out, is actually active, you should not have sex with even with condom, because viruses are so tiny that it's very easy to spread. So during the time that you are with that one, you should be taking medicines such as acyclovir or valacyclovir to reduce the kind of diminish the or make it go away sooner. So, but be careful with that. Say these other viruses, be careful. All right. So thank you very much for watching. It was very long, but if you finished, you got to this one, even better. Hopefully you liked everything. And thank you. Take care.